Hey everybody, happy Tuesday evening from Brasilia. This blog I'm going to talk about my first few impressions of Brasilia and a few of my experiences here so far. Overall, I've been noticing that I'm almost a little jarred with coming to Brasilia because a lot of my time in Porto Alegre was very relaxed right away. Kind of did a few things for the first day. They're all really close to my house. And here, I've just been running around like crazy. And I'm absolutely exhausted. The combination of not sleeping too much on the bus has worn me out, so hopefully I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. What can I say about Brasilia so far? Well, first, to give you a little bit of background, the city was built in the 1950s. The president at the time decided to move the capital from Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia, here in the middle of the country. Why did he do that? Well, there was always a movement for more than 100 years to move it more inland, to give the inner part of the country more of to kind of give it a boost to its economy. But the president in the 1950s, I don't even remember his name, actually did it because politically it was a good way to kind of rally around the flag, or to arouse patriotism, and to make it so that the people weren't seeing the rest of the problems that were going on in the country. So the city was built in just a little over 3 years, and was completed around 1960, and it was done in the design of an airplane. And if you take a look, I'm going to post a picture down below. I don't know what yet, so I can't really describe it in too much detail, and a link to Wikipedia so you can read about Brasilia itself. But that makes it so that the city, in the shape of an airplane, is only about 50 years old. So it's a very, very new city, relatively speaking. What does that mean? Well, the design with the plane, it was built with a very modernist idea in mind. Modernist being kind of very new and neat, yay, kind of moving forward with technology. And you can really notice that in a couple of things. One is that the addresses, they're almost all numbers in the city. So like my address is really, really weird. It's in, I don't even remember the thing, but it's based on a number system. So if I go out walking, I basically can't get lost because I can just know where my number is, as long as I know that I'm in the north of the city or the south of the city. And my apartment's in the north of the city. It's 714, 715 is the Super Quadro, which is like this mega block, and then it's on building D, which is like a regular block, and then it's entrance 38. So that's how I find my place. And so in some ways it was almost designed very, very, logically speaking, very modernist. And being modernist, it was built kind of with the 1960s modernism. And it hasn't changed that much, really. It still looks like a blast from the past in many ways, the city, with some of it decaying. I mean, you go to the center part of the city, and it all looks very 1960 modernist. It's almost as if you walked out of this set, or were watching the Brady Bunch and looked at how the buildings looked then, or a film in the early 1970s was kind of like a, hey, this is the big city type of movie. That's what the city looks like in the center where the government buildings are. If you go out near, coming towards my direction, where I actually live is kind of on the left plane link, the very tip of it. And as you go along on a lot of the streets, they look kind of worn down. There's cars everywhere. And a lot of the infrastructure, the roads just look kind of shoddy. The roads actually are good, but the sidewalks are kind of shoddy. It looks kind of dirty. But then when you actually get up to my area, it gets kind of nice again. I live in a residential area. And I went out to get some food last night when I got here. And my first thought was that it really made me feel like I was on a college campus. Because the buildings around my part of town are kind of rectangular and long, and they really resemble a college campus. There's green everywhere in the city, which is nice. There's almost no pollution. They don't allow big trucks in the city, so it's absolutely, absolutely beautiful in that sense, but it's still kind of a manufactured green. But out walking last night, I felt very safe, even though it was a little bit dark. But Brasilia is a bit safer, but it felt kind of homely. It felt like I was on a college campus, which was really cool. So there's a big debate in the country, and people discuss all the time whether Brasilia is kind of a success or a failure. Is it the success of a city moving forward to the new millennium and beyond, or is it kind of a failure that some people think doesn't have any soul yet? And at this point, I can't really make a comment on it because I haven't been here long enough. Yeah, so those are a few things about the city. Today I just kind of got up and walked around, explored a bit, didn't bring a map with me, I didn't need one, and walked around, got on a bus, did a lot of the basic things, found a gym, found a supermarket. Couldn't find a local phone, but I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. Found a laundry place. My apartment here is pretty interesting itself. It is the smallest of any of them that I've had so far. And I'm actually paying the most for it out of any of them that I've had down here so far. I'm not even going to talk about how much I'm paying. A couple quirky things about it. First is that I have cleaning ladies. I found that out when I came home today. When I was renting the place on the web, it said that they would change my sheets once a week. And so I was kind of like, cool, excited about that, because I wouldn't have to worry about paying for the laundry for that. But when I came home today, after just being here for 15 hours, they're already cleaning my apartment, and they were like mopping. I even had one cup sitting on the counter, and I don't know if they actually washed it in the apartment or if they just put a clean one in its place and took it out of the apartment. So I think they'll actually do my dishes for me if I leave them. But don't worry, I'm not actually going to leave them dishes. I'm going to do them myself. I don't want to give them work like that. I think that's silly to not wash your own dishes. So, yeah, that was first thing. So I actually have cleaning ladies coming into my apartment, cleaning it, mopping it every single day, I think, changing my sheets. I'm not changing it, but at least making my bed every day. So that's kind of quirky. Number two is two things about the keys in the apartment. Let me run over and grab them real quick. Take a look at that. These are my keys. I was holding on to the keys by the very tip, and you might be asking yourself, why was Sean doing that? Well, because if that isn't in the wall, I think within 30 seconds electricity in my apartment will shut off. When I leave the apartment to go out, I have to bring my keys downstairs and give them to the person down there. And I walk out in the city without my keys. So it's kind of liberating in that way, and it's very good for the environment, because it means that the air conditioning won't be running, the lights won't be running, you can't leave stuff like that running. So it's very good for the economy, not very good for the economy, very good for the environment. So that's always very nice. And the weird thing though is that when I leave, when I come back, I only just have to say my apartment number. And the place I'm living in is not too big, there's probably around 20 apartments, but it does kind of scare me a little bit that that they'll just give me the keys for this apartment. I have a feeling that they might just do that to me, because they know that some guy's upstairs that doesn't speak any Portuguese. But yeah, so those are a couple of my experiences here in Brasilia so far. It's kind of funny, kind of entertaining, but I think I'm almost out of time now for my 10 minutes, so I will leave it at that. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.